The crypto market is still underwater, down another 2.64% for the total market cap of crypto globally, with Cardano down another 2.95% in the past 24 hours. That's now over 17.5% down in the last 7 days. There's so much to dig into, though. There's still some really big price predictions. And not only that, I want to talk about what is actually driving this market, what is, in my opinion, just around the corner. And this is a must watch video. If you're invested in crypto, thinking about investing in crypto, particularly Cardano ADA, you're definitely going to want to know what it is that I'm going to cover in today's video. So stick around until the very end. I don't want to waste anyone's time. Hit the like button, subscribe. Let's go. So look, we've looked at the total market cap of crypto globally. Cardano is at 52 cents 70, and Bitcoin now obviously did go below 100,000 recently in the last few hours. Is 101,449.33, down 2.61% in the past 24 hours, but down 10.35% in the last 7 days. So the markets are not looking great. We're in fear now. We're 20 on the fear and greed index, and I want to talk to you about what is really driving this market. Why are the prices the way they are? And it's all to do with liquidity, in my humble opinion. Now, Nick and myself have said for well over a year now that the liquidity is thin in crypto, right? And we've seen the cascade effect of liquidations. We've seen Binance, BlackRock, and various other big entities dumping on retail, right? And the market has a really interesting way of trying to FUD people out of the market. And, I think we're at that point, right? Even myself, I've been feeling it recently. Like, can I be bothered with this market anymore? And it does get you to a point where you feel like you need to sell just to improve your mental health, if anything, right? And I've said this many times, the people that go on to be the most successful when it comes to investing, they understand the game. They understand how to keep their emotions in check. They don't marry their bags. And ultimately, I think this is where we're at right now. We're at a point where liquidity is thin. But it is about to, come into the market. There's going to be a lot of liquidity just around the corner. The shutdown for the US government and everything around that is going to play a big impact, I believe. I think that we're going to have a lot more printing. We're going to have, a lot more to be really excited about when it comes to crypto. So I did put out in the Discord, like, I don't want to be that guy that has to explain to my grandchildren that I was invested in cryptocurrency, or just generally I was invested in stock, gold, commodities, whatever it might be, right? And I sold in October and November of 2025. Like, I don't want to be that guy. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that in the comments below. But look, let's get into Cardano. I've given you kind of my thoughts and opinions, but they are still targeting $10. And I think this should tell you everything you need to know about where we're at, right? Cardano price prediction, whale activity surges. Is ADA targeting $10? Now, I don't think that it's going to reach $10. That's my humble opinion. You can let me know your price predictions in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, because believe it or not, but 60% of people that watch these videos haven't even subscribed to the channel. You're missing out. Join us in the free educational Discord as well. Link in the description of the video. But whales have been loading up ADA at these price dips, including myself, right? I would class myself as a Cardano ADA whale, and I've been buying the dip. I share that with our members in the free educational Discord. Cardano price prediction now hints at a major rally towards the $10 mark. Now, I think absolute blue sky possibilities would be around the $7 range, right? I just can't see us going any higher than that. Now, this would indicate that we're all expecting a big move to the upside, and the market is trying to FUD us out with the news at the moment, talk of recession. And I do agree, right? The data is, driving this narrative, and the data isn't wrong. It's just actually the likes of Warren Buffett and various other prominent, investors They're not trying to catch the top or sell the top or catch the bottom. They're looking to just, pull out early. And they do this. They do this very early. They make these predictions and these calls really early through data analysis, and they just wait. And eventually, inevitably, it will crash. And I think that we are going to have a huge recession. But before we have that recession, we have to blow off tops. And, particularly in crypto, at least in my opinion anyway, not financial advice. Treat what I say with a pinch of salt. I'm not a financial advisor. Treat this purely as entertainment purposes only. Do your own research before making any investment decisions. Even go a little bit further and, engage with a financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. You do risk losing all of your money if you do invest in crypto. So just want to be really clear on that stuff. But look, do you see a $10 ADA? I think that we are going to get big moves to the upside. I think a new all-time high for Cardano ADA is inevitable. Now, on that note, I just want to go back and I just want to have a look at the different altcoins and Bitcoin on here, right? The cryptos. I want to have a look at these, and because I'm getting a lot of people saying we're in a bear market. I think even Jim Craner has come out and said we're in a bear market. We're officially in a bear market. Tell me what bear markets you've seen in history that produce new all-time highs. If we look at BNB, new all-time high, 13th of October, 23 days ago, right? I get it. You could say that's a one-off, right? Bitcoin, recent all-time high was 1 month ago, the 6th of October. So a month tomorrow, we had an all-time high for Bitcoin, right? Bear market, all-time highs. Have you ever seen that before? Now, I want to give you my views and opinions on this, right? If we take Zcash, if we look at the last month for Zcash, up 164.84% in 1 month. What's that? A bear market rally? Let's have a look at ASTA, right? 1 month it's down, but if we go to all time, right, it started in September. Since September, it's up 939.34% all time, right? So $1. It was at when it launched, it was at 17. It was less than 17 cents. So this doesn't look like a bear market to me. What it looks like to me is money is rotating around different altcoins, right? I wanted to highlight this because there's just so much noise and you've got to be able to shut that noise out. There's so many people that talk a really big game, but actually they haven't made it. They have never made, life-changing money in crypto or investing, right? And they're portraying this this lifestyle, this rhetoric that they have. So just be mindful about who you watch. This is why I say always do your own research. Be careful what you read because we've gone over various different news articles. One news article today could be saying whales are buying. Another article could say whales are selling. They've just sold X amount, right? So just be careful what you're reading, who you're following. And that's why it's so important to do your own research, right? It's so important. Cardano falls 10%. Again, this is market wide, right? People are being fudded out of their bags. Now, don't forget, you can support us here at Cheeky Crypto by delegating or staking your Cardano ADA to the Cheeky Crypto stake pool. Cheek, the ticker Cheek, CHEEK. We have 4 point, that's a lie. We have 7.4 million ADA staked with us. Really appreciate the 1,477 people that are supporting us. We do earn from running the stake pool. It does support the channel, and you can also earn crypto rewards, ADA rewards, by staking your ADA. Do check out the pool performance link in the description of the video before you make any decisions on whether you stake or not. But just know we really do appreciate it. And look, it's a great way to increase your holdings of ADA, but obviously nothing's guaranteed in crypto. So do check out the pool performance before delegating or staking. We got Cardano confirms death cross against Bitcoin as market sell-off escalates. And we're seeing this, right? But I do think we're close to the bottom. I really do. And I know what people are thinking. They're thinking, Chris, you've been saying this for some time. You think that we're going to be rallying. We're going to the biggest bull run in crypto history. And give it some time, have some patience. Like, nobody's got a crystal ball. Nobody's going to be so accurate to the day. Like, I think we've done phenomenal, and I think our predictions have been second to absolutely nobody. And I say that with real conviction. Um, we've called so much stuff, accurately. Flash crash, volatility. That's the latest calls that we've been making, and we've seen all of it. Um, my next expectation is for liquidity to come into the market, the dollar to lose its value, and risk on assets, Bitcoin, altcoins to rally. That's the expectation. Whether it comes to fruition, who knows? Nothing's guaranteed, obviously, but this is my opinion, not financial advice. And yeah, look, you can do you. I'm going to continue to do me. I do just fine. So yeah, we want to cover this off. Cardano price prediction: can ADA defend the 50-cent support, or will bears push it deeper? Now, I'm going to put my neck on the line here. Somebody, I think it was Big P, I can't remember, but somebody on Twitter asked the question: will we see 40-cent or 80-cent next, right? Like, which is going to be first? And I said 80-cent. Like, I think 80-cent happens before 40-cent. Let me know if you agree or disagree. But, a couple of years ago, we were putting our neck on the line, stating that we believe that there's going to be a really big buying opportunity. I think that is now. This is what we've been talking about over 2 years ago. And, what precedes it is what I believe is the biggest bull run in crypto history, followed by, like, outside of crypto, like across all markets, the biggest recession in history. So there's really big opportunities potentially on the table here if you can execute really well. Because for me, the biggest opportunities in history, yeah, and history is being made when I talk about it in this way, is crypto. For building generational wealth, crypto is the one, followed by farm and land. Those are the biggest opportunities to build generational level wealth, in my humble opinion, not financial advice. Time will tell whether that is accurate or inaccurate. And either way, I'm going to take learnings, and hopefully people will go do their research and see whether it resonates with them or not. So we've got Apex Fusion unlocks USDC liquidity on Cardano through Stargate. So what I want to talk about is, you're seeing a lot of people talking about stable coins. They're talking about liquidity. What have I been saying for some time? Liquidity is what's going to drive this bull market, alongside big catalysts like spot ETFs for altcoins. Really exciting times. Now, talking about things that are really exciting, we've got Unity. You can generate rewards by verifying the telecom grid from your mobile phone. Anyone with a mobile phone can earn crypto rewards directly from their mobile phone by verifying the global telecom grid. Every verification call made through the Unity app installed on your mobile phone strengthens the network. If you buy one Unity node, you get 200 licenses. You get some staked minutes tokens, some staked World Mobile tokens. They are locked for a 24-month period. And based on their calculator, you can earn up to $19,200 per month if you actively run and operate your 200 licenses from your one node, for example. In this example anyway. But these rewards, they're not guaranteed, right? They do fluctuate, and it depends on various different metrics like network performance, market conditions, and operator activity. Just want to be really clear on that. But something I'm really bullish on. Join us in the free Discord if you've got any questions. And then we got Cardano price prediction. Is Cardano ADA the sleeping altcoin of 2025? And look, I want to kind of give my views and opinions on this. And everybody knows I'm bullish on Cardano ADA. Everybody knows that I've been talking about Cardano ADA for probably over 5 years, getting on for 6 years now, right? Probably is 6 years, in fact. Now, what I want to kind of say is, there's a lot of influencers here in the Cardano ecosystem. Perhaps don't feel recognized, like, are still here. And ultimately, I think that there will be more. I think Cardano ADA is in a very unique position, particularly with Midnight and the privacy layer. That's been my thought and mindset for a long time, that this privacy layer has been what's been missing, that does bring in, mainstream adoption, banks, healthcare, and much more, right? Like, it's going to be really, really big. The scaling solution, the accessibility of Bitcoin liquidity, the DeFi aspect of things. And, I'm not a DeFi expert. I'm not even going to pretend that I am, right? Like, I don't use DeFi across any chain. I've seen it as high risk, lots of security flaws, and it doesn't matter about audits. You can look at some very prominent DeFi projects that have been hacked many times. Now, I'm not suggesting that happens on Cardano's ecosystem, but it happens across the board on all of the others. So, I've got my concerns, right? And I'm here to win. I've said this many times. I'm not here to lose. I don't think you are. If you're watching this video, you're not here to lose money. And I'm not either. Like, I put my money where my mouth is. I have conviction in my investments and my decisions. Sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. Either way, you take learnings from it and you improve as an investor. I don't think there's anyone that can say that they're right 100% of the time. I don't think that there's anybody that is extraordinarily wealthy from doing their investing, that is like on YouTube actively, across the board, right? Like, everybody is still looking for more, and it doesn't matter how much you've got, you're always going to want more. Nothing's ever going to be enough. And that is something that is really, really interesting when it comes to the psychology of everything. But ultimately, I think Cardano ADA is in a very unique position, a very strong position. And I am so excited for the blow off tops, the altcoin season, the crypto, pumps, whatever terminology we wish to use. I think we're on some really, really interesting path. It just hasn't played out yet, and people need to be patient. That's my views, my opinions. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. My goal here is really just to help people. I want people to be successful, and I'm, doing my best to share my experiences, my learnings, my thoughts. No guarantees, obviously, that any of it is right. Some of it will be wrong for sure. Some of it will be very right and, age like a fine wine. Some will age like, milk, right? Like, it just will. Nobody's going to be right 100% of the time. But, I want people to be successful. Everything I say and do comes from a good place. And, if you like that sort of stuff, hit the like button. If you value this sort of content, then subscribe. Join us in the free educational Discord and join our amazing community. They're all on the same path, learning about blockchain technology and crypto, investing, and so on. What a great way to immerse yourself with like-minded individuals that have very similar goals, perhaps, to yourselves. And, you don't have to learn the hard way. Lots of people come in here and they call it an entry fee, right? You lose because of a hack. It might have seemed very obvious to other people that have been here a long time. There's lots of mistakes people make that you don't need to make if you surround yourself with the right people. Not to say that that is an easy thing, but anyway, I've been rambling. I hope you've enjoyed my little ramble. I've been sort of teeing myself up to make this video for about 2 hours. I've been, sat just trying to do anything but make this video. And I think that gives you an idea of how the market makes people feel. I'm in this 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And it's starting to take its toll. But I know from experience, when you feel this way, it's only wonderful things around the corner. And let me just leave you with that. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.